All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Mhm. Yeah.
Portable trade show booths.
Okay.
Um, but not just anywhere. We're talking specifically Cancun.
Nice.
And you found some really interesting sources here.
Yeah, I tried to find a good mix.
Yeah,
Text and visual, something we could really dive into.
exactly. And I think this is going to be really helpful for our listeners because, well, a lot of them are always asking,
Yeah.
what's the deal with renting booths for these trade shows?
Right.
And Cancun is such a hot spot right now for events.
Absolutely.
So we've got this website from a company called Stand,
Okay.
and then a YouTube video from Stands in Cancun.
Nice.
So let's jump right in.
Sounds good.
I was looking at this Stand website,
Uh-huh.
and one thing that really jumped out at me is just how much they're emphasizing speed.
Uh-huh.
Like they say they can get a modular booth ready in like 12 to 15 days,
Wow.
which
It's
is,
pretty fast.
yeah, that's pretty impressive, but especially for businesses that are, trying to get down to Cancun for these events. And
Yeah. I mean, Cancun is known for being pretty fast-paced when it comes to events anyway.
right.
A lot of destination events, especially in popular tourist spots,
Yeah.
they have really tight deadlines.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if a company can deliver quickly, that's a huge selling point.
It gives them a leg up for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're definitely trying to, I guess you could say, play up their experience too.
Oh, yeah. How so?
They're talking about, more than 1,000 satisfied customers and over 40 years in the business.
Wow.
Um, and I thought this was interesting. They made a point of saying that they own all their equipment and they don't subcontract any work.
Oh, interesting.
So I wonder if that's,
What do you think that means?
I was thinking maybe it's like a little dig at some of their competitors,
Yeah, maybe.
trying to,
Trying to set themselves apart.
exactly.
Yeah, it definitely makes you wonder.
Yeah, it makes you think about, quality control and stuff, especially if you're a business coming from somewhere else and you're not familiar with the local market.
Right, you're not really sure who to trust.
Exactly.
Like they're saying, hey, we do it all in-house, you can trust us.
You know you're going to get what you expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that's really important.
Absolutely.
When you're dealing with something as important as, showcasing your business at a trade show,
Yeah,
you don't want to mess around with quality.
exactly. You want to make sure everything's top notch.
Absolutely.
So, we were talking about visuals earlier.
Right.
Let's switch gears for a second
Yeah.
and talk about that YouTube video from Stands in Cancun.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's a short video,
Yeah.
but it's very visual.
Mm-hmm.
So what did
I think?
what jumped out at you there?
I mean, visually, the booths look really impressive.
Yeah.
And I think that's really smart on their part because, Cancun attracts businesses that are all about aesthetics.
Right. Resorts, travel agencies.
Yeah, exactly. Luxury brands.
Right.
So showing off those beautiful booths,
Right.
it just makes sense.
It's a good way to appeal to that target audience.
Yeah, that's great.
So you can't really appreciate it unless you see the video. But I mean,
Right.
it definitely makes you think about how important those visuals are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's jump back to the Stand website for a second.
Okay.
They have a whole section on these booth packages
Oh, yeah.
with names like C4 plus A4 plus counter and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And it made me wonder, are these pre-configured packages really the way to go, or would you be better off going with a custom booth?
Right.
What do you think?
That's a tough one. I think it really depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, the packages are definitely convenient
Yeah.
and probably more cost effective.
Right.
But if you're a brand that really wants to stand out,
And you need something unique.
exactly, you might want to think about a custom booth.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to weigh the pros and cons.
Exactly.
Figure out what's best for your specific situation.
Right.
So one last thing I noticed was that both sources really emphasize Cancun and the Riviera Maya.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like they were selling the destination as much as the booths themselves.
Yeah, they're definitely playing up the whole Cancun experience.
Yeah.
It's not just a trade show, it's a vacation.
Right.
And that's appealing to both attendees and exhibitors.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to combine business with a little bit of paradise?
Right. Exactly.
So I guess if someone's listening to this and they're thinking about renting a booth in Cancun, what would you say is the most important thing to keep in mind?
Communication.
Okay.
Talk to the vendors.
Yeah.
Tell them what you need.
Right. Be clear about your requirements,
Yeah.
your budget, your timeline, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, especially about their experience with events in Cancun.
Right.
Make sure you're comfortable with who you're working with.
Excellent.
Because at the end of the day, you want your trade show experience to be a success.
Exactly.
And that starts with choosing the right vendor.
Absolutely.
And the right booth.
And remember, folks, this is just a starting point.
Yeah, just a taste.
Our deep dive is just a glimpse into this world.
Right.
Your own deep dive, you know.
You got to go deeper.
You got to go beyond the surface and really do your research.
Absolutely.
So here's a final thought.
Okay.
We talk a lot about speed and customization today.
We did.
How do you think that's going to impact trade shows in the future?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, as events become faster and more personalized,
Right.
how can businesses stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, how can they make sure they're getting the most out of these evolving trade shows?
Exactly. Something to think about.
Definitely.
All right, that's it for a deep dive today. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.